Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to Mood Booster. And it is certainly a time that I'm sure many of you are looking for a boost in your mood. Welcome to you. My name is Lynn Morales. If we have not met, I'm a naturopath in the DFW area. And I've been a naturopath for over 17 years. So that means I look at the body from a holistic perspective, and I work to identify the root cause of illness. My passion is actually a modality called body talk that I use in my practice. You'll learn a little bit more about it throughout this presentation, but you can learn more about it at our website, accesscompletewellness.com. And under our services page, there's body talk is listed there. So I want to welcome everyone who's joining us from various time zones around the country. We love supporting people who are motivated to improve their health. And we strive really hard to maintain an opportunity for you to learn. And I never cease to be amazed at the timing of the healing. We usually associate mood with emotions, and we use descriptive words to define our mood. So let me give you some examples. Some positive mood descriptors are things like blissful, cheery, joyful, mellow, and silly. We also have some negative mood descriptors. Let me give you a few of those. Things like annoyed, cranky, grumpy, irritated, sad. You know, there's a happiness researcher. Can you believe it? There's an actual lady. She's a happiness researcher. Now, wouldn't that be a fun job? Her name is Sonja Lyubomirsky. She has identified that there are 3 influences of mood. Now, this is super, super important to hear this. 3 influences of mood. She reported that personality trait predisposes our particular moods. And it accounts for 50% of our set point of happiness. Uh-oh. And then 40% is influenced by what we do deliberately to make ourselves happy. And then the last 10% is attributed to life circumstances. Now, that one may be hard to believe at this time in our world, that only 10% of your mood and happiness is defined by your life circumstances. But that's what Sonja, the happiness researcher, had to say. Now, mood disorders affect over 20 million Americans, and with major depression and bipolar disorder being among the most common types of those mood disorders. So genetics are known to play a major role in influencing susceptibility to mood disorders. So while we can't influence our genetic predisposition, there are medical and natural methods for boosting mood. So once diagnosed with a mood disorder, please keep in mind, always follow your doctor's advice and only use alternative therapies if they are really appropriate for you. So we talk about influencing our mood. So if 50% of our happiness is determined by genetics, that means the other 50% is something we can influence. So that would be like our epigenetics. And that's a lot of the fun stuff I like to do in my body talk practice is epigenetics. So lifestyle choices are the biggest influencer we have control over. So surprisingly, what we can eat affects our mental and emotional health. Certain foods can bring about changes in our brain structure, chemically and physiologically, and that can lead to altered behavior. The amount of sleep we get each night, that also impacts our mood. So there's nothing worse than being sleep deprived while trying to maintain positive during trying times, right? And then physical activity has been shown to affect mood in different ways. So while the link between depression and anxiety and exercise aren't entirely clear, we do know that these mood disorders can improve with regular exercise. Now, a couple other things. We're going to give you a link to what we call the cortices technique. It's a brain balancing, left and right brain balancing technique. We're going to put that in your resources. You can use that anytime you want. And I'm going to tell you something. You're going to see a difference in your mood the more you use it. But go ahead, check out that link we're going to give you for that. That is a freebie from us today. Also, another way to balance your moods is through flower essences. And that's something that we have that flower essence questionnaire on our website, another freebie. So you can check that out. We also have a couple other really amazing tools. One of them is called emotional regulation, where we can literally work with you long distance. Again, you don't need to be in town, work on Zoom conference call. And emotional regulation usually can permanently help you regulate a negative emotion in usually a 30-minute session. So that's pretty fast work there. And then, of course, body talk sessions, another way to help influence your mood. So we have a lot of tools and a lot of experience with that here in our practice, Access Complete Wellness. So you can learn more about it at accesscompletewellness.com. So what should you eat? How does that impact? Well, what we eat really has both a positive and negative impact on our mood. So we need food as fuel, but certain different nutrients have different effects on our mood. So nutrients that you need to get more of to help you out would be things like omega-3, tryptophan, vitamin D, selenium. Those are things we're going to talk about more, so hang on. But also some foods to avoid that could affect your mood. Caffeine, sugar, unhealthy fats. So let's go a little bit deeper into this and tell you a little bit more about that. So omega-3s, polyunsaturated fatty acids, have been the subject of a ton of research over the years. And studies are showing a very huge link between healthy fats, which would be these omega-3s, and if you don't have enough, depression, right? So omega-3s can be found naturally in things like fatty fish, as you see here. Also flaxseed and walnuts. But I'm going to tell you something. When you really want to achieve real brain health, you go for the fish type, the omega-3s. That's where it's at in a huge way. And research also suggests that omega-3s appear to affect neurotransmitter pathways in the brain. Yeah. So there are 3 neurotransmitters which are specifically affected, and they affect aspects of personality, including mood. So there's that personality thing we talked about at the beginning, right? So these neurotransmitters include dopamine, serotonin, and noradrenaline. And so the balance of these 3 neurotransmitters is heavily dependent on, guess what? Nutrition. So here's what I'm going to tell you. If your nutrition's off is one thing. If your digestion is off, that's another. So let me just cover that real quick with you. If you are burping after meals or feel nauseated or belching or have gas or you get bloated or heartburn, guess what? Your digestion's off. If you don't have bowel movements every day, guess what? Your digestion's off. So all of that matters. Eating the right foods matters, but having good digestion is another matter. So again, if you are having some of those symptoms, you should get in touch with us. We can do some nutritional consult with you very easily in our office or across the country. Doesn't matter. We can help you out there. So, but let's talk about how can you know if you're getting enough fish? We have an amazing tool on our website. It's, again, accesscompletewellness.com. If you go to our Access Brain Health section, this is huge. We do a very cool test. Again, we can do this across the country. It's called Brain Span. Brain Span will actually tell us not only if you're getting enough omega-3s, it will actually tell us how much more you need if you're not getting enough. And just FYI, 96% of our population isn't getting enough omega-3s. So if you're like me, I don't like to eat that much fish. I have it about once a week. And guess what? That wasn't enough. Not even for me. So I had to increase my omega-3s, and it has to be the right omega-3s, just FYI. Got to have the right balance. So again, those are some things we can help you with, even long distance. AccessCompleteWellness.com is the best way to reach out to us and learn more about that. Now, back to those neurotransmitters. So dopamine I mentioned that one just now. That's involved in your focus, your drive, attention, memory, clear thinking. Any of those a concern for you right now? These are also dopamine. Increased levels boosts feelings of pleasure. Yay! That's what the mood booster is all about, right? Elevation of dopamine levels often leads to an improvement in mood. So, very important one. Serotonin, another very important one. It is actually the most studied neurotransmitter. It regulates mood, anxiety, arousal, aggression, impulse control, and thinking abilities. And when it's deficient, it's associated with low mood. Yeah. And then there's noradrenaline or norepinephrine. Now, this is actually synthesized from dopamine. It's involved in mood elevating action. Yeah, very cool, right? So a couple of things. We're going to talk a little bit more about this. You're going to see a little bit about the food connection again, got to have good digestion though. But I'm going to share with you another thing you can do to help with neurotransmitters. One of them is body talk sessions. Again, we can do those long distance. So it doesn't matter if you're in town or not. We can actually do some body chemistry things to help your body address any reasons why those neurotransmitters are kind of sputtering or not having all the fuel they need. But let me show you another tool that you might find extraordinarily cool. We are using a tool in our practice called BrainTap. At that link there, accesscompletewellness.com/BrainTap, you can learn all about the BrainTap. And guess what? We have completed our a full presentation, just like this one, on BrainTap, where you will learn exactly how the technology works. I know it looks kind of spacey here, space aged, spaced aged. But bottom line is, it is some phenomenal technology. And we cover it very extensively in another webinar that we've completed. And so be sure to, when you get your resources, notes on these things, you'll have that in there and you can click on that link, or you can go there now, learn more about it. And we'll let you make sure you get to the right resource for that. We work directly with the BrainTap company and directly with Dr. Patrick Porter, the creator of it, so that we're always getting the latest in the technology that he's using, and making sure that it works with all the platforms as he has to do upgrades and things like that. So back to diet, let's talk about that low carb craze. So, there are smart carbs and then there's the not really smart carbs. So you can see the picture here. Those are the smart carbs. Yeah, there you go. And those kind of things include things like whole grains, fruits, vegetables, legumes, things like that. Now, let's go back to talking about some of those brain things and those neurotransmitters for a second. So tryptophan levels in the brain influence the amount of serotonin. I just mentioned that to you. I just told you all about it. The amount of serotonin that our brain can create. And so while tryptophan is abundant in most protein-rich foods, other amino acids that are also present cause tryptophan to have to compete for absorption in the bloodstream. And this isn't the case with the smart carb choices. So it's important to note that the more smart carbs, like these ones in the picture, that you eat, that'll help your tryptophan levels, and that's all going to help your serotonin levels, that happy hormone, right? Again, as long as our digestion's good. And guess what? If you're eating foods like this, that's going to help your digestion in a big way. So just thought I would share that with you. So, and then eating these smart carbs, the more tryptophan enters the brain, it increases and synthesizes the synthesis of that serotonin, and it allows a steady positive mood boost. So very, very nice, smooth effect there. Now, studies have been conducted at the University of Toronto, and they reported that increased vitamin D improved mood in those suffering from depression, especially those with seasonal affectiveness disorder. Now, vitamin D levels, the increased levels of serotonin, there it is again, in the brain, like the tryptophan in the smart carbs. Supplements are also available. However, food and sunlight are the best forms of this essential vitamin. Did you hear that? Sunlight, a really great way. And food, if your digestion's working. Okay, so let's think that through. Got to have your digestion working. We've been talking about that a number of times. So super important. So I'd say sitting out in some sunshine daily isn't a bad idea. 10 minutes a day would do wonders for a lot of things, including sleep and your immune system. But some other sources of vitamin D are things like wild caught fish, egg yolks, you see here in the picture, canned fish, shiitake mushrooms are good, almond milk, fortified orange juice, oatmeal. Again, digestion needs to be working though for you to absorb, okay? And you already know what poor digestion looks like based on what I said earlier. Now, selenium, it's a mineral. It's naturally found in the soil, and it's been linked to preventing mood swings and depression. Yeah, that's important. So in fact, when low levels of selenium have been linked to actually a poor mood in general. So the recommended intake for adults is 55 micrograms per day. So recommended intake, but guess what? You can get this in foods as long as your digestion is good, right? You'll be absorbing it. So foods rich in selenium, are you ready for this list? Seafood, things like oysters and clams, sardines, crab, saltwater fish, freshwater fish, all phenomenal for selenium. Also things like nuts and seeds, especially Brazil nuts. I don't know if you like those, but especially those. Lean meat, like lean pork and beef, skinless chicken and turkey, all very, very important. Whole grains, like whole grain pasta, brown rice, oatmeal, also very important. And then beans and legumes, all super helpful for selenium. Now on to some real fun, cacao. Woo! That originates from the same plant as cocoa. Isn't that neat? The process that they go through differs, though, creating two different products. So let's talk about what this looks like. So cacao offers numerous benefits. There are antioxidants that are responsible for 10% of the weight of raw cacao. So antioxidants are very good. And then there's something, a powerful flavonoid, which is a natural mood booster, and it's called epicatechin. Yeah, epicatechin, natural mood booster flavonoid. Cacao also contains 20 times more antioxidants than blueberries. Isn't that cool? The increased levels, the cacao increases levels of that neurotransmitter. Guess which one? Serotonin again. That's a pretty helpful one, isn't it? This helps balance, it also helps balance mood swings and restores feelings of well-being. Of course, like who doesn't do better with like cocoa and cacao and chocolate, and right? We all feel better with that. It also has something in it called anandamide, which is a well-known mood booster. So that's also a component of cacao. It's produced naturally in the brain as the body's own natural antidepressant, this anandamide, right? So, and then cacao comes in various forms, including powder and raw cacao nib forms. And cacao can be made into a drink, yeah, like a smoothie. It sounds really good, doesn't it? Or even sprinkled over oats or yogurt. That sounds like a nice treat. So important, cacao. Now, sleep and mood are inherently connected, as poor sleep can cause irritability and stress, and stress can cause sleeplessness. So it's like a vicious little cycle. So adopting regular sleep habits is absolutely crucial to getting the proper amount of sleep your body needs. And the following are a few steps you can take starting today. And after that, I'm going to tell you something really, really important about sleep. So first of all, keep a regular sleep-wake schedule, like go to bed at the same time each night, even on the weekends. Wake up at the same time. Avoid caffeine too late in the day. Start a calming pre-sleep routine. We're going to go over that momentarily. And then exercising regularly, but earlier on in the day. Yeah, that's a good idea. But let me give you really big news. We have another webinar already done. It's called Sleep 101. You will get so much more information in Sleep 101. I can't begin to tell you. So go to our website, accesscompletewellness.com. In the search bar, search on Sleep 101, and then the link will come up for that presentation. But let's move on to that pre-sleep tips. So understand that the goal is to calm your mind after a hectic day. So 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime to help you calm your mind. Getting plenty of sleep will help boost your mood the next day. So try adding a few of these tips for a peaceful night's sleep. Again, don't forget Sleep 101's out there too, though, with a lot more information. But first thing is unplug. Those electronics stimulate brain activity. I talk a lot about that in Sleep 101. So instead, once you find a good book, read a little each night, not on a Kindle. I talk about that in Sleep 101. But to help calm your mind and make your eyes actually sleepy, okay? Another thing is actually yoga. So spending a few minutes during your, doing some favorite stretches, not only does your body appreciate this at certain ages, and especially as you age, but you'll feel more relaxed and ready to rest. So give that a try. Also, journaling, writing down worries will help you feel like you have to remember them, right? Don't write them, don't think about them all night long. Write them down, and then you got your worry list ready for the next day, although I don't recommend that either, but at least you got your worry list written down so you don't worry about what was on the worry list. Does that make sense? Okay. And then there's, gosh darn it, get up. Here's my point. So if after like 20 to 30 minutes of tossing and turning, if you're not getting to sleep, then just get up, go to a different room, go sleep on the couch, cuddle up with a pet, do something, but do something else to try to restore and resume calm for another 15 minutes. Now let's move on. So, physical activity is quite mood boosting. And the effects have been the subject of a lot of studies. So the results of these studies indicate that the following about exercise. It can trigger positive emotional processing. It can reduce negativity. It can resist stress. It can reduce anxiety by increasing, oh, there it is again, serotonin levels. It improves body satisfaction, in fact, leading to overall satisfaction, right? You're moving, you're starting to feel better about yourself, you're starting to look better. Overall satisfaction improves. Now we're moving in the right direction. So there's strong evidence that physical activity improves both short-term and long-term mood. So studies further show people who exercise regularly exhibit general overall happiness. So like I said, get out and move, right? So as such, physical activity is especially important for those vulnerable to depression or that seasonal affectiveness disorder. So boy, walking in nature. Twofold activity here. So you get the benefits of released endorphins for walking while enjoying nature, which is also a natural mood booster. How cool is that? So if you're not sure what local parks or nature preserves are around, just ask the locals or look on the internet or, Google map it, whatever. There are more places than you think. So places you can look for are historical neighborhoods. There's a thought. Parks, botanical gardens, walking trails, beaches, lakes, rivers, etc. Right? Lots of places to walk. Take advantage of that. Oh, and here's Fluffy. Quality time, right? So being around our animals is a natural mood booster. I've got a few kitties and they definitely put a smile on my face. So spend a few minutes a day, walking your pet or playing outside. If your pet isn't stressed by other animals, like a dog, maybe they can go to the dog park. So it's been proven that simply petting an animal helps increase stress reducing hormones such as oxytocin, and it reduces the stress producing hormone called cortisol. So even in the absence of your pet, just Look at cute animals online. They can have the same effect. They got those cute little kitten cams and, stuff like that. That's a lot of fun to watch. I would highly recommend that. So playing outside with your furry friend, improves your mental health by, first of all, getting you moving. It helps reduce stress. It helps create a distraction from that worry list that we just talked about, right? Helps lessen loneliness, makes you smile. So don't forget them, because, they're in your life for a very important reason. And, make the most of that time. So, dancing is a super great way to get you moving. You don't even feel like you're exercising, right? So join a local dance group to learn some new moves, maybe a Zumba class at the gym, or have a dance off in your own living room. There's lots of options, right? It's not the place or the moves that matter, thank goodness for me. But studies show that dancing reduces anxiety through being physically active and allowing you to connect the mind and body. So crank up the music and get moving. So studies also suggest that finding an exercise buddy helps to beat the blues through social interaction. So as people who exercise regularly report a higher sense of well-being and feeling more energetic, adding a friend to the mix makes exercise that much more fun. So exercise is proven to be one of the most effective ways to improve your mental health. So being around loved ones is also a natural stress reliever. And usually a buddy will help motivate you to get out when you're feeling low, or give you something to look forward to when you lack that motivation to work out. So it's a good idea to have a workout partner. Isn't this a beautiful picture? It's so clean. It's so clutter-free. I absolutely love this picture. I just feel calm. You hear my voice even calmed. Isn't that amazing? So clutter can be a constant reminder that things should be getting done and they're not. Isn't that the truth? So reasons why clutter can cause stress. For one, it's excessive stimuli, right? It acts as a distraction. Not knowing when you're going to get to the bottom of it creates anxiety. That's not good. We got enough of that in the world, right? It creates feelings of guilt, like, oh, I didn't get this done again, right? Also, feelings of frustration. So straightening up even a small area is going to give you a sense of accomplishment, to energize you enough to get through the next task. So while clearing away clutter, ask yourself a couple of key questions. Is this item something that's needed or wanted? If not, donate it by giving it to a friend or a local charity. So that once that clutter is cleared, prevent it from building up again by having a designated spot for each item, and then put everything back where it belongs before leaving the area that you're in. And then your house can look like this pretty picture here. Now, you've probably heard me talk a few times about aromatherapy, scent therapy. It can positively boost your mood, and I mean in a great way. So simply add a few drops to a diffuser, your favorite essential oil. I do caution you, get the good stuff. We will give you a link to the good stuff. You don't want to buy the very inexpensive things, especially anything that says on the side, not for internal use, because then why the heck would you put it in a diffuser? Which means it's going to go in the air, and you're going to breathe in the air, and then you're going to go, gee, I wonder why I don't feel so good, or this isn't making me feel good. So how you use an essential oil is you can use it with a diffuser. You can put it on a cotton ball and stick it in front of an air vent in your car, right? That's pretty cool. You can put it in the palms of your hands or your wrist. You can inhale on your hands. There's just a ton of ways, and they can majorly affect your mood. So I'm going to tell you a couple of them. Almost everybody knows lavender, right? Very calming. Peppermint, that's a natural mood booster. I love peppermint. Basil, that'll help you fight fatigue. Cedarwood or rose can help alleviate anxiety. Orange is super nice as a pick-me-up. It's good for relieving stress. And speaking of stress, we also have a couple of very amazing essential oil blends. Essential oil blends are single oils that create a special blend, right? So a single oil is like a lavender, a lemon, a peppermint. And several of them together create a few blends that I picked out just for you on this webinar. One is called Peace and Calming. Now, how good would that be for mood boosting, right? Another one's Stress Away. Oh, do I like Stress Away. And another one is called Valor. Valor is great for courage. So those are just a few of my favorite blends. We will give you a link in your resources so you can learn more about those. Tunes, man, turn up the tunes. When you're feeling low, look for upbeat tunes to boost your vibe. A lot of studies have examined the connection between mood and music. Music therapy, do you know this? It goes all the way back to Aristotle and Plato. Isn't that amazing? I don't know about you, but I am very loyal to my music artists. And it's interesting. I think about how often I listen to them, how often it keeps me in a great mood. So think about that in your own life. Don't take my word for it. But there are strong links between music and mood. And you know what? That's actually led to a few things. The National Association for Music Therapy. What do you think of that? The American Association for Music Therapy. And then the Certification Board for Music Therapists. I remember there was a member of my family who was in the hospital a few years back, and music, the hospital hired a keyboard player for everybody in the hospital, and he would come by and he would play amazing, lovely music for people. So music therapists are actually now board certified to help patients with managing stress, enhancing their memory and alleviating pain. That's pretty neat. So there was a study published in the World Journal of Psychiatry, and it was titled Effects of Music and Music Therapy on Mood in Neurological Patients. And in that report, it said that music engages numerous parts of the brain involving emotion and cognition. So music therapy has been recognized to be able to increase both emotional and cognitive function. So in our practice, accesscompletewellness.com, we have a special set of music that we do like to recommend to people. And we will make sure that link is in there. We call it whole tones. We'll make sure the link is there so that you can access it. Did you know smiling is good for your mood? So studies actually show that muscular changes in our faces when we smile naturally elevates happiness. I tell you, the things they do studies on, right? I had no idea. So basically, fake it till you make it. You've heard that saying before. So simply looking happy can lead to a mood boost. I love it. So if you need a little help, they recommend that these smile study people, they recommend that you try laughing yoga. Yeah, that's something to laugh about right there, right? You're kind of smiling with me, right? Laughing yoga is actually a real thing. I kid you not. So laughter is a new form of exercise. And so it may feel silly at first, but it actually works, and it's extremely contagious. So laughter increases oxygen levels in the brain, and it just fosters positive feelings. So simply start laughing. Even if it's forced at first, you'll eventually start laughing naturally. I mean, I kid you not, it's actually pretty funny. So don't be shy here. Just give it a try. You'll see. It's pretty fun. So let's move on. We're going to recap now what we went over. Make sure that your mood's in a good space. I have given you a lot of great information that should move you to a great space. And a lot of phenomenal tools already out on our website, accesscompletewellness.com. But let's talk about it. So mood is affected by a number of outside and internal stimuli. We talked about that. So the next time you're in need of a boost, try one of the simple techniques that we discussed today. Like I said, I'm going to give you the cortices technique as well. You're going to get that. But let's review a few other things. First of all, eat plenty of omega-3s. And if you don't know how much plenty is for you uniquely, you should reach out to our office, accesscompletewellness.com. We will let you know how you can figure that out. Tryptophan, vitamin D, selenium, cacao. That's like, wow, right? Cacao. Those are all great things for mood boosting. And then don't forget, start a pre-bedtime calming routine. Reading, stretching, journaling. Don't forget to get active. Like this lady here, engage those little furry critters in your life, engage your pets. Get out into nature. Use aromatherapy. We'll give you some links on that. Listen to music. We're going to give you some phenomenal links to actually help enhance how your body parts are functioning. That's pretty neat. We're going to recommend decluttering. And don't forget to smile. That's right. So next month, next webinar, Access Complete Wellness, is going to be taking on your blood pressure. So take control of your blood pressure. Here is the date, April 16th at 8 p.m. Central Time. This is a Thursday night. It is a webinar, and you can invite all the friends you want. This is great because we all can watch this from the convenience of our home. So several ways to reduce your blood pressure. Guess what? Without drugs. Yeah, I'm telling you. And so guess what else? We'll also be looking at them, balancing nutrient levels and enhancing gut health, all part of it. So for more information on our other upcoming classes, we do one of these every month. You can go to accesscompletewellness.com/upcoming-events. So that's where you can learn more there. So we want to thank you, as always, for participating in our monthly webinars. It is such a pleasure to have you, and such a joy for me to be able to present this information for each and every one of you. So I want to thank you so much for being a part of this presentation. And I want to ask you to be sure to join us next month, and don't forget to register. That's how you get a free playback. Have a wonderful rest of the day.